This woman claims she survived an attack last year by Australian soldiers that destroyed her family, killing 4 children, a teenager and an adult. She says they're buried here. One day after the attack, on the 13th of February 2009, this is what the Australian Defence Force had to say.
During the conduct of this operation, there was an exchange of fire between our forces and the Taliban. Tragically, a number of people were killed and wounded during this incident. Current reporting indicates that those killed include a suspected insurgent and sadly local nationals, including 5 children killed and 2 children and 2 adults injured.
The Australian Defence Force had also begun investigating the incident, and Dateline has spent nearly a year seeking answers from them through meetings with senior defence officials and formal requests for information. But the ADF has hardly been forthcoming, even at the highest level.
There was a lot of things that happened that night, and we're investigating all aspects of it. Unfortunately, I can't go into the detail of that because I know you and I respect the integrity of the investigative process.
We went to Kabul last October and arranged to meet this man, Zahir Khan. Dateline now has copies of his identification papers. Crucially, Defence has since confirmed to Dateline that this is the man they took away that night for interrogation.
I have been authorised to formally confirm the authenticity of Zahir Khan.
He says it was his brother, his teenage sister, and 4 young children that were killed that night by Australian soldiers. Zahir Khan claims he and his wife were asleep when the Australians broke down their bedroom door at around 2 a.m. Khan says it was after the soldiers dragged him out that he heard gunfire and explosions coming from the next room where his brother's family was sleeping. It was only upon his release from the Australian base that Zahir Khan learnt about the deaths of his 6 relatives.
په وطن کې به دې پوښتنه کړې وای تا ته یو سړی ووایي چې مثال پلانکی طالب دی ته ماښام راشه د هغه کور ته ور واوړې په آل و په عیال کې ور وخېږې شپږ کسه یې ور شهیدان کړې 4 یې ور زخمیان کړې غیر ناک.
This is Zahir Khan's compound in the village of Surmogab, where he says the attack occurred.
دا دروازه ما داسې انځر کړې وه دوی په دغه ته ولې ده ګوره دغه د ماته ده دغه نچکا ګوره ماته ده. دغسې په دروازه کې راته ولاړ و داسې راکښېنستلم دوی راله زما لاسونه راوتړل زه د باندې وایستلم
نور دلته خو یو ټک مګ پیرینګ خو نه دی کړی
یا دلته بلا نه دی کړی زموږ په خونه کې ټک نه دی کړی
نو دی
زما د خونې څخه چې راووتله پر دې منطقه باندې ټکان د دغه ولاکه څه پسې ولاکه څه ټکان پسې
د دغه سریسه ټکان وسوله په تاسې باندې
زما ورور شهیدان چې واغه په دغه خونه کې پراته وو
This is the room where Zahir Khan says 6 of his relatives were killed. Khan's sister, Jamala, claims she was also there that night.
دا دي ګوره دا کښې ماشومان دي په دغو کې دوه دانې دغه دوه کښېنیانې پاته دي دغه شهید شوی دي
دغه تور ته ګوره دغه د ټپې دوره که چانه دغه نینې دغه ټپونه دغه د ته داسې ورته وګوره دغه دي یو مخکې دغه پارچې دي دې خواته پارچې دي ګوره ته داسې ورته وګوره
ته چرمه
هغه دلته میده دي دلته دي پر دغه ځای دلته
This woman, Shipiro, is the wife of Zahir Khan's dead brother, Amrullah. She says she was in the room when it came under attack.
زما یو مشر زوی د ټوک ټوک کې یو د کیلورو په سر کې وېسته په ځګر کې وېسته د پرځه فزا کړو دا شوه دا راوېسته په ځاتل تکشنه ول دغه په وینه کې غشتله چې نه پاتې وخت یو خمره سره چې امره وغه وېسته.
It remains to be seen how these accounts tally with that of the Australian Defence Force, who claimed they had been fired upon by the Taliban, if and when they provide their version of what happened. The family says this phone video was filmed after Amrullah's body was returned by the Australians. This is the video. The women and children are apparently seeing it for the first time. One of many unanswered questions is why the Australian troops raided this particular compound on that night. The family rejects any suggestion that Amrullah was a member of the Taliban.
طالب کور ته نه بېجېږي چې طالب وي جنګي طالب وي بیا که چېرې بېجېږي هغه پر خپل ځان باندې پیردار دري موږ نه پیردار درولی دي نه مو پیردار درلودی موږ د خپلو خونو سره د ځایو سره پورته کړلو دغه چا مې راسره وکړه
دلته طالبان نه ولو
هغه طالبان نشته
دا کلي کې مو
یا نشته.
Despite questions from Dateline, Defence has never revealed whether they may have raided the wrong compound on that night. But Shipiro claims that immediately after the attack, the Australian troops' translator admitted to her that they had made a mistake.
برای ترجمان ته مال سره ته وای برای دی وای موږ غلط سلو موږ الته تلو موږ د خدای په دغه راکې موږ دل خطا وتلو اصلي په اسرای کې ولیدل او د غونډې په اسرای کې بردل ته موږ تر اول ویده ګر موږ د غلط سلو نه مشت په غزي کې نه مشت انو برای دلته ټپیانو بس په غیش کې سره عمله کړ لازم انجلي معاملې کړ بل الکه معاملې کې.
The ADF has declined to answer whether the Taliban leader Mullah Nourullah was their target that night, but Dateline understands that he was. 3 months later, the Australians got their man.
Elite Australian troops have claimed another key insurgent scalp in the Afghanistan campaign, with the demise of Taliban commander Mullah Nurullah.
Dateline believes that in the days following the attack, Australian soldiers gave $10,000 to a local government official. A payment apparently intended to be passed on to this family as compensation for the deaths of their relatives. However, Zahir Khan says they did not receive any of that money. This family has many questions for the Australian authorities about what happened on that devastating night.
That will come out in the investigation, and that's what we're trying to get to the bottom of, is what precisely happened on the night. We had an inquiry. The inquiry looked into these aspects, but there were still some other factors that needed to be further investigated.
دغه کالي و چې دلته زړېږي
دغه کالي و دغه ټوک ټوک سوله غونډې راغوستې وه زما خورې کې چاینې دغه نایه ورغلې وه هله موږ غواړو موږ خپل شپه شهیدان د دغه وسه غواړو ولې دی راسره وکړه څه ګناه مو کړې وه خو هېڅ ګناه به مو نه وه کړې